Look, being a leader involves two things. Involves first, most obvious, the ability to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Live with those decisions, accept those decisions, take responsibility for those decisions, but to actually make them. that's necessary. That's what people look for leaders to do, is to decide on how to move forward. When to step and where. The other thing which a leader really has to do, and it's much more related to the word itself, lead, is to inspire, right? Build a culture, all those things that are necessary to galvanize people toward the mission. You can make a decision, but if nobody's willing to actually follow you in that decision, then you're not being an effective leader. And I think, for a variety of different reasons, I've been quite good at articulating a mission. First, identifying a mission that means something, and then articulating that to other people and getting their buy-in and bringing them together and including them in that mission, including them in the decisions that we make as well. And so why that comes naturally to me, I don't know, but it always has, obviously. I think part of it is not so flattering. I think part of it is, because I want to have control even over other people, which is not necessarily a nice thing, but can be harnessed to do nice things. Part of it is the fact that I have a small head, which means that my brain is small, which means that my neurons are close together, which means I can think fast.
Okay, yeah. That's a good thing for a neuroscientist,
tongue cheek, right? But I don't know, So I can be a relatively quick thinker, which is also, I think, necessary in conversation and leadership and reading other people. I tend to be very, very empathetic as well. I don't mean I'm necessarily sympathetic, but I find it quite easy to feel how people feel if I so choose to make the effort to do so. And that's also necessary for leading people, because you have to, understand where they're coming from before you can bring them somewhere else.
So any advice for founders that are behind you? Get a small head?
Yeah, if you're a founder of a company, there's a few things that I did in the early days, which I'm really happy I did. One is I made a huge focus on culture, and a culture that I would love, and that's important. So people say that all the time, culture is really important, but it's absolutely important. Another thing that I did, and this would be relevant for anybody who doesn't come from a business background, is read a lot of business books. I read a lot of books on strategy from many different, don't just read like Peter Thiel's 0 to 1, right? Like read 20 different books. My co-founders, Mark Thoburn and Avidas Muradian, and we read one business book a month for 3 years. And we took notes and we shared our thoughts and we rated them. And at some point in time, I had this vision that, we'll publish this list, and maybe I will someday still. But it's out of date, I suppose, now. But anyway, like read the books from many perspective. Great advice that I got from my father a long time ago is that there are no heroes. There are no people in the world that you can hold up and say, that's the person to be like. But there are aspects of all kinds of different people that you can pull from, and that's something you can aspire to. That's something. And I think the same way about these business books, is get a bunch of different ones, pull them together, help you frame your thinking. And one thing that particularly if you're doing it with your co-founders, it gives you a lexicon that you can leverage together.
Yeah, that's a common language, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think it's the same with advisors and investors. None of them, I think, should consider a full hero in terms of like they have all the answers, right? It's more like picking up elements that are useful to you from anyone that can offer them to you.
Yeah. And a side point of choosing your culture is choosing your team. And that includes your investors.